I think my hair has quit working. How you doing, Justin?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
We're
We're
the
live. We're
microphone
live.
is-
We're live now.
We are currently live right now.
I just got a text message and I thought we were still
We,
uploading.
you know that music that counts down every single show, Justin? With the
No,
last.
can you onboard me into this process a little bit? Finally.
Oh,
Uh,
Justin Tilley, everyone.
Speaking of onboarding, there's been a lot of onboarding, I think, probably happening recently, right?
Changes. Yeah, I think we have to stop this show at 1:00 sharp because there's tons of all hands meetings going
There's tons of
on.
all hands meetings. Everyone's got an all hands meeting.
That's right.
Lots of something we noticed was a lot of start new positions or announcements of new team members going on in the multifamily industry. A lot, I would say, more than definitely previous years.
I mean, I've got something to announce later this month. You're just going to have to wait.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Very cool.
Yeah. So, for those folks who unfortunately lost their positions back in October, November, December, hopefully you have gone out and found something wonderful. If not, keep searching, keep the hope up. Heck, maybe we'll even feature you at some point. We'll drop a mention in for you to help get you your next gig. But that's not what this show is about today.
No, it's not. It is not about that. It is about a lot of different things. First of all, before we go into too much, today we're going to talk a little bit about some words, okay? Because words were definitely popular. There was on multiple lists, but I guess one of the words of 2025 was slop. This has popped up in a few places. What do you have to say about
pig
this?
slop, right? Pig slop, farm,
Why not?
farm terminology.
That's my background. But what do you think they're talking about here, Eric?
My guess is AI slop, Justin. A lot of AI slop out there.
Yeah, that is right. So yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. Where's my? I don't get a cookie. No.
No, you don't.
What else? No. What else was kind of the big words? Now that I've knocked this word out, I'm terrible at Scrabble, by the way.
Oh well, yeah. I like it. The reason we're talking about words is because today is Word Nerd Day. That's why we've put this up here. But there was words of the year in multifamily, and these are all things that I pulled. Some of the words don't make sense because they didn't do a correct Scrabble board AI, but purpose, invite, reimagine, do, align, boundaries, gratitude, all of those were words that people were talking about for their word of the year.
So or didn't is not a.
That was my word of the year.
Ah, got it. Yeah, that sounds like something my son would say.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get into the headlines.
Yeah, so pretty big headlines that just happened this week. Trump in one tweet decided to drop some stock for for a couple companies on the stock exchange. Basically, Trump is politely asking institutional investors to stop buying up single family homes. Quit it. Quit it.
Yeah.
I think something like 3. I mean, I've the statistics are all over the place, right? I did my initial gut research here. It was something like 3.5% of homes are maybe institutional owned. Majority of the owners of single family homes are, mid to small. But Trump was aiming some crosshairs at institutional ownership and wants to stop it. So we don't know exactly how that will occur, but there's a lot of news going on right now in home ownership, which will affect multifamily. Absolutely. It's going to affect, who comes, who stays, who renews. So we're just keeping an eye on this for you.
Yeah.
every week, every
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. What are people saying? What are you hearing out there about this
Uh,
already? I mean, I know it just kind of happened, but what have you
what
noticed
I'm
so far?
hearing on the street is that this is not that big of a deal. Not a ton of people, not a ton of institutions own
Yeah.
the single family homes, right? That's not the big crux of the problem, right? He's going after the wrong people. But I think what Trump is tapping into is the sentiment
Hmm.
of the American people here, something he's and done quite well at least with his own base, for certain. But I think everyone can agree that home prices should come down. It would be, unless you're an investor, maybe, and you're trying to offload your houses. But in general, what we're hearing is that this, will have some ripple effect for sure in multifamily, but just to the degree we don't know how much yet.
Right. Right. Right.
So, speaking of increasing supply,
Yes.
Willowbridge has been kind of beating their chest recently. They did a post online talking about how they've now surpassed 10,000 units on the West Coast. This goes as far south as San Diego, and they're really headed up to the Pacific Northwest.
Hmm.
They've been growing quite rapidly. At this stage, they're currently at about 32 states, and their total number of units is 240,000.
Hmm.
So quite
That's
the
a
big
lot.
player.
That's a lot. Yeah.
So it's not often we get public numbers,
Hmm.
for an organization that maybe is not publicly traded, but
Right.
in the case of Willowbridge, it's nice to see these numbers. Is nothing wrong beating your chest in the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure. Very cool. Very exciting. Yes. There more growth. I know up into the Pacific Northwest. There were some folks, right, talking about it as well. Sort of there. This wasn't just a fast pivot or growth. This was like a long time coming. So they were talking sort of about the trajectory of it.
Yeah, yeah. So Portland, get ready. You're gonna have a lot of the name Willowbridge
Hmm.
coming to you.
Very cool. Right. What else?
Let me see here. Let me check my notes here. Lennar sells a
Mhm.
majority of their multifamily control over to TPG.
Yeah, TPG Financial Services. That is right. Um, what do you think about that? What's something, you know?
Well, what I have learned from this deal is that ultimately, Lennar's multifamily unit was operating at a loss from the beginning of 2024. In Q4 2024, they were operating at a just kind of net even, but in
Hmm.
2025 they had an operating loss of 44 million. So they were definitely at a deficit. Cortera's portfolio now is really spanning like the full circle
Yeah,
of resident life from single family all the way into multifamily. Yep.
yeah. We're gonna see more of these kinds of either acquisitions or shared fiscal interest or these kind of things happening between groups going into this year. I think that is part of a lot of people's predictions, as you were looking at the end of last year and going into this year. So yes, I think we'll probably see more of that.
This is true. And I know that I skipped ahead in our order here a little bit,
It's
so I
okay.
appreciate you
We're
catching me back up.
we're flexible. Yeah, speaking of predictions, what are we doing, Eric?
Yeah, so we're collecting a binder of predictions now. We are putting together a list of predictions. We want some big predictions for 2026. We want to know what your thoughts are, right? So we love wild guesses. We love educated guesses. We love to hear what you think. We have already had someone from Built actually
Hmm.
gave a really good prediction to us, and we're going to be announcing these predictions. Our favorite ones, I should say, we'll be announcing them at the end of the month, at the end of our January show.
Yeah, very, very exciting. So yeah, try to get yours in. I know people will see predictions rolling into February. I mean, I saw, predictions going into all of Q1 for sure. So yeah, that'll be very interesting.
Very excited to see what y'all think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very cool.
As I'm like updating our webpage right now to make sure the link works. Yeah, it works. We're good. All right. Well, I mean, yeah, we can go back to some industry bullet points here. Let's see what else we got here. I know that the Maintenance Academy has been in the news.
Yeah, what are they doing? Do you know? They're doing a podcast coming up.
So they have a podcast. They announced that they're going to be doing a podcast, and on top of that, congratulations to Mark Sharp, who is now the CEO of the Maintenance Academy.
Right, one of those starting new position posts.
A worthy
that we
title.
saw.
Yep.
Very,
A
very
worthy
true.
title for sure. Basically, the Maintenance Academy, for those of you who don't know, is offering free educational resources. A lot of it's in the form of videos, so free training videos. They've also announced that they want to help certify, I believe it's 200 technicians to get their, Mark, to get their HVAC certification. Yeah. So there's a lot of certifications within that. So I'm generalizing this right now. Mark, I don't have your post up here with me, but what I can say is you should check out the Maintenance Academy's website or check them out on LinkedIn to get the skinny there. But Mark Sharp, without an E at the end of his last name, can definitely help keep you in touch there.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, a lot of podcasts kind of dropping their first episodes. There's definitely a few, check out. I know the Shiv's podcast did their first episode, Humans of Multifamily, or that dropped. There was a couple other ones. The Apartment podcast had on the folks from Next, Tamala and Tammy, to talk about their upcoming series. And they're, I think people are, just getting ready to get that first bit of content, those first bit of conversations, out into the pod sphere in this industry.
Yeah. Multifamily Next is kind of interesting. We had a chance to interview, this was Tamala. This was Tammy and Pat. Tamala and Tammy are doing, Mm-hmm. But Pat was also on the interview at OpTech. But anyway, the whole point of this is that they, clued us in that this was coming up. They let us know, what was happening. Essentially, they're helping support, like, accelerating AI into organizations. There's lots of talk about AI. They demonstrated the fact that, over 80% of our industry in multifamily is talking about, we've dabbled in AI. But the problem is actual usage, like on the ground, hardcore usage, day in, day out, is like closer to the teens. Mm-hmm. And there's a big problem there. There's a huge gap, and there will continue to be a huge gap until we have organizations and, both individuals and groups of people coming together to fill those gaps. And this is a cross-generational challenge.
Right.
So we're very happy to see, both Tammy and Tamala launch
very cool.
Multifamily Next.
Yeah, so they have their first event in a series of events. It's going to be in Dallas at the end of January.
17 days from now.
17 days. Look at you in the math. Amazing.
They have a thing on their footer on their website. It counts down all the days.
That makes more sense. That makes more sense. Also, same time frame is the NMHC's annual meeting. That is an event that is definitely anchors the industry during this time, like in terms of events. A lot of owners, operators, asset managers, people wanting to do deals, talk about deals, potential, real estate product, figuring out how it's going to move this year. And so it's a nice time to kind of sets the tone for the industry. You have a lot of other people there too, like people like myself or other companies coming to support the industry, to find out what's going on, to use the opportunity to support and talk our clients, partners, future, folks that we might work with.
Yeah. So hopefully I'll get a chance to go. But I heard it's in this brand new Mexican themed town called Las Vegas.
Yeah. Good luck getting there.
Yeah. Hopefully they've
I'll,
got a hotel room.
I'll tell you all about it. Yeah, so there's those events. There's some other events coming up. Like Peak Made has their leadership conference this month. BOMA has a Detroit area like leadership panel
Whew.
happening.
Detroit in January, baby.
Yeah, and people are starting their sales kickoffs, their GKOs. You're going to see posts coming from companies on that. So stay tuned to watch all of the insights that might come from that. And a little future forward, Multifamily Media Network is organizing. It's not Palooza, everybody. It's a little earlier than that, but it is MMN's Livewire, which is a chance for folks who will not be picking up a mic at Apartmentalize to have an opportunity to speak, to share their content. Maybe you didn't get chosen for a speaking session. This might be a great spot to kind of get that content out there, have that discourse with your peers and colleagues.
How are we not on there? I guess our thing was more of a live broadcast. We ended up not getting our we didn't get chosen, unfortunately. We came pretty close though.
We did.
I mean, pretty darn close.
Yeah, I think the thing is that it's hard. I think for what we do specifically is connect dots that exist, and our pitch was connecting dots that existed during the conference. And so that's still a work, it's one thing if you knew what the sessions were and then you could say, hey, this is how we're going to connect everything, but everything's kind of a, puzzle piece. And so our pieces really comes in after the fact and then connects things. So it's kind of hard to pitch that.
Were we the glue that you put on the puzzle when you're done, or were we the puzzle masters that put the puzzle together?
How do you do puzzles? Glue? What do you?
Yeah, when you're done, you put it on the wall.
It. You frame it.
No,
you gotta tear it down, hide it, forget about it for a couple of years, then pull it out.
Lose a couple puzzle pieces, put it back together, get very frustrated and pissed off. That's exactly what you do, actually.
Yeah, I guess we're hosting the Livewire.
Jen, I hit the button. You hit the button. We're both hitting the button.
Again, twice. You buy me a Coke. Buy me a Coke.
I have to touch you in 10 seconds, and that's not going to happen. So
buy me a Coke. Yes. No, yes, it's Jenks. Yes. So we will be part of the Livewire experience, and we will be apartmentalized in all different kinds of ways. So yes, that's exciting. Events. I was a little evented out last year. I'm not gonna lie, but I think I'm gonna go into this year excited to embrace all of them and just be very intentional and specific at each event. So.
That's a great idea.
That's my goal. I mean,
you should always be intentional and specific.
If I'm saying my goal on January 9th, does that mean I can't quit it because today's the day to quit it?
Today's quitting day.
It is quitting day. So if you had a resolution at the beginning of, January, if you said, hey, I'm going to, go to the gym 5 times a week instead of 3, if I'm going to, today's the day to give that up. So Eric and I give you permission to say, you know what? I'm going to go back to gluten.
Today is a great day to quit. Bad habits.
Yes.
Double down. Quit.
That's not why it's a holiday though. It's that you give up. It's celebrating the fact that you give up. Is it ever okay to give up, Eric?
Yeah, give up alcohol. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's also okay to give up something that you thought you were going to do and you didn't like doing it. Or even if something's going really well, 2 people, this was in the feeds, Kelsey Corey and Dana Pate, both talked about how, they had these careers, they were rolling along, and they just had this voice about doing something different. They didn't leave their previous roles because it was an issue, but they left because something else was calling them. So again, sometimes it's just okay to quit.
Yeah.
That's
This
the
makes sense.
motto.
Hey, I have a question for you, Justin.
Okay.
This is just hot off the top of the head because we're almost, we're good on time.
Yeah. We're totally good on
What
time.
do you think about bringing in some guests with pre-recorded things? Like, you know how we've talked about this before, but you know how on SNL you get like the occasional guest that comes in, and most of the times our guests are not a character. But what if
Like
we
Opera
started bring,
Man, like
yeah, like
Opera Man.
Opera Man,
Yeah,
exactly,
or
exactly.
whatever.
Everyone
Yeah,
knows
that's my
Opera Man.
generation. But yes,
Zoom, yeah. This, that was John post John Belushi, but right
I
around
mean,
there,
I'm
maybe. Yeah,
familiar with the new ones too. But yes,
yeah.
like
You're
the
cool. You're hip.
I does that make me? No, that doesn't make
Tuck,
me
tuck,
anything.
tuck, tuck, tuck. Fun fact: was it Keenan Thompson's the longest running uh, person on SNL, longest running actor staff out of everyone in the history of SNL. It's astounding
Yeah,
to me.
yeah, no, that is it's a pretty and he kind of does it now almost tongue in cheek. There's like a whole other element that he's been like he's part of the joke with everyone else because he's seen so many different iterations of casts that it kind of resonates in a different way. But yeah. Um cool. So yeah, so did you resolve? Did you choose a word? Is there something you're not giving up on that you
Oh,
started this year out with?
yeah, I'm quitting the bullshit, man. No, I think what I am gonna let go of is my thoughts that I can't do this because there's so much in the way, right? Like oftentimes, if you want to accomplish something, there's so many steps and things in the way. And I mean, as soon as you just start the process, get going, you've activated it, you started it. And oftentimes, you get caught in the weeds and it's challenging for us to pull back out, reassess, and then keep driving forward. But I become phenomenal at creating plans of attack, following through with them. But oftentimes, if you want to do something, it's like just launch it, see what happens. So just quit the bullshit. Just go do it.
That's good advice. Good advice. Yeah. So we'll be I think that I like your idea. We're gonna have regular people come on just like we have been. We're starting to like fill up our calendar. But you think we should maybe have a couple characters. I know we've talked about this before. Do you think this is the year to start it?
I think this is the year to start it. Yeah, because I think there's a lot of phenomenal voices out there, both up and coming and pre existing. I would like to highlight some of the up and coming voices, in our industry on all sides, whether you're on the leasing side or you're on the vendor supplier side, that's fine. But for me, I just want to hear different perspectives and get a
Mhm.
lot of folks.
Well,
Um,
that approach too, and we're totally showing how the sausage is made here. Um, but by taking people that haven't had a following, a strong brand, aren't identified with one particular company or message or things like this, or even job title, could come in a more like masked singery kind of a way, right? I mean, we could still share their name, but they could use that to kind of launch a brand. I think that's like it's kind of like if you came in as you were like the slop fighter or whatever, like that's a cool, like you could come in and you could kind of say something like I'm going to focus on this and start kind of a launch to kind of say this is what I care about.
I
and
like
you
it.
and you went away
I
and
just want to highlight you. I thought what you were talking about was phenomenal.
yeah, no, you totally quit being on screen for a minute. I love that I don't have to deal with all this technical stuff on this, but I also my hand I'm totally in your control. Like you could do anything, right? I'm like I can't really control it. So I need to learn that. That's going to be my resolution is to learn more of these programs.
I'm gonna learn how to make a really tasty sausage.
There you go. Sounds great. All right, let's wrap this up. This was a good episode.
I enjoyed it. A lot of us have made some New Year's resolutions. I have started to work out more than I have from the past year. But the key is not to say more. Don't do it more. Just make your resolution as simple as I want to be healthy. And then what happens is when you want to be healthy, you do things like work out, you do things like eat healthy, you do things like that. But even if you slip or have a day or two or three or a week, whatever it is, if your goal is still to be healthy, and that is something that you will fail to do if your New Year's resolution is, I want to work out more. I want to eat more salads. I want to, do X, Y, and Z. What you're doing is you're bringing the past into the future.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say your resolution is, I want to be healthy, then that's a future looking statement. So with that said, for those of you who have gone and worked out, put yourself out there and go ahead and be healthy. And if you do try and you fail, try harder next time.
Yeah, you don't have to quit.